It's another personality on Football Manager, and we're back with ambition. We've seen with the squads it made quite a big difference, and we've seen on the previous unambitious Wonder Kid video that there seems to be a cap and there seems to be a very limiting factor to a player's potential ability or growth to that potential ability when their ambition is very low. Well, today we've got ambitious personality Wonder Kids. We're going to see if they can reach their potential. Let's go. And we've got the same 5 nations as promised in the unambitious video. They're 90 current ability, 200 potential ability. They are strikers. We've got South Africa, Canada, America, Czech, and Australia. 17 ambition. As you can see here, I've got ambition still loaded into this little visual. We've got Nico Mabena as our South African. Lee Hall, our Canadian. Aiden Williams, our American. Tomas Horak, guess that's how you pronounce it, and Jordan Clark, our Australian. Now, in terms of the actual hidden attribute breakdown, as you can see, the hidden attributes, if you've very recently seen the unambitious one or you've whatever, it's the same hidden attributes, except ambition, instead of being at 1, is at 17. Also, the actual attribute breakdown for the current ability of 90 is identical. As you can see, they're up at 188 centimetres. They've still got the good aerial reach, and they've still got the basic polygon that sort of we had last time. So, there you go. That's all there is to say. We've got the 5 Wonder Kids. We've got ambition. We've got a simulation in the books. On we move to 2024 and see where these players have gone. Although I bet the American's not gone anywhere. Well, bugger me. He's gone somewhere. He's gone to Portland. But unfortunately, Jordan Clark at the Peninsula Power has not improved a singular attribute point. Neither's Lee Hall, who's gone to Inter Miami. Well, he has made 1 appearance. Aiden Williams, the American, has gone to Portland and only improved 1. Nico Mabena has gone to Black Leopards and improved by 6. And Tomas Horak has gone to Victoria Zizkov, where the Czech player last time went to old Victoria Zizkov, and it started off all right for him. It did not last, did it, for the Czech in the unambitious one? It was our South African. Was it Sisifele or Sifilele? Whatever his name was. But Tomas Horak is leading the way at the moment in this first season, and it's nice to see the Americans actually got a club and already improved an attribute point. Middle of the road at 91. I will say, though, to have only improved, to 2 of them not to have improved at all, and 1 to have improved by 1 attribute point after a year is a little bit concerning, considering that they've actually got high ambition. On we move, 2025. Right, okay, we've had a little bit of movement now. This second season's really kicked things on. Lee Hall at Inter Miami has improved by 5 attribute points, 34 games and 6 goals. I bet a few of them have been from the bench. The majority, to be fair, all 10 this season. He did make 6 starts this season here, for Inter Miami 2, that is. So he's only played for Inter Miami, the first team, from the bench. Never made an appearance from the start, unless it was the pre-season friendly that we see there in the non-competitive, but that doesn't count. So Lee Hall is bringing up the rear. Jordan Clark at the Peninsula Power is absolutely loving life. He's actually got a goal every other game. 28 starts, 14 goals, and the Peninsula Power, how have they done? They're not even in a league. They're not even in a league. Fine. Can't even click on it. Rubbish. Aiden Williams then. 43 games, 7 goals. I would say a lot of those are from the bench. Yeah, all 20 here from the bench. 12 starts, 5 off the bench, 4 goals. That's crap. Okay, Aiden, up your game, son. Nico Mabena is asking to leave. Wants to leave the club. Why? He's probably too good, right? 108 current ability. Although he's not showing it in his performances. He's not showing it in his performances. The Black Leopards are, I mean, where the hell? Nearly relegated. So no wonder he's not scoring many. 26 goals he scored. How many has he got? 8. About a third of their league goals this season. Not great, is it? 14 in 42, 1 every 3. Is that crap? It's not awful for a player who's just breaking into the team. In a bad team as well. Goal every 3 games. Tomas Horak is at 117, and he might be the one. He only got to like 127 last time because he went to Arsenal early doors and basically just never played. Well, he's gone to Slavia Prague for £55,000 and he's now worth, well, between 4 million and 12 million. He played 22 times there for Zizkov with 12 starts, 10 off the bench, and then 24 starts, 3 off the bench, only scoring 9 goals in the second division of Czechoslovakia. Unfortunately, It's because they were down near the bottom. 13th. 13th he finished, so he didn't do great, but he's now moved to Slavia Prague, where he probably will stay there for a couple of years. I'm thinking Nico Mabrena is going to make a move very soon. I won't be surprised if some of these others made a move. So let's move to 2026 and see some of these moves that might have happened. Speaking of moves that might have happened, you can just move that cursor down to the subscribe button and give it a little click for me. That's if you haven't already. Look at that. Thomas Hodak is at 135. Now, let me tell you, that is eclipsed our Czechia player from the last unambitious experiment. Now, we've got Nico Mabrena, who has moved to Chelsea for free from Black Leopards. He's rounding out to be quite a good player. He's got to 192 centimetres. Those, Thomas. Aidan Williams has moved to Arsenal. He's still at 189. He moved for 6.25 million from Portland. Did he do much at Portland? Meh. Jordan Clark has moved to Marseille for £21,000. Played 5 times for Marseille 2. And hasn't scored 6.54. It's a bit dismal for him, to be honest. And, there's always one, isn't there, in these experiments? And it seems like today is Lee Hall, who is yet to get to 100. He's played 49 times as well for Inter Miami. Is he just coming off the bench? He is just coming off the bench. So this is interesting. If you're just coming off the bench, you don't improve that much. Unless he's only getting like 5 minutes here and there. Maybe if you get a few more minutes under your belt, maybe you improve a bit more. I'm not too sure. There we go. And so Lee Hall is yet to make that move. And Thomas Horek. I think Thomas Horek is probably going to get a move very soon. I mean, look at the value of him. Less than 4 million. Well, 3.8 to 11.5. You get him for 6 million. I mean, yes, please. Someone give him a chance. Or give him another season at Slavia Prague. Let him really kick on. Because he got a goal every other game for Slavia Prague there. 14 in 28. In a league-winning season, ladies and gentlemen, Slavia Prague won by 3 points. And the player of the year was Lucas Haraslin. The striker of the year, Thomas Horek, was 3rd. And he was 2nd in the Golden Boot race behind Vaclav Djal. And ahead of Vaclav Sake. Vaclav's a common name then. Moving on to 2027 then, and I think we're going to probably get a move for Lee Hall and probably Thomas Horek in this interval. So on we move. Well, I was correct. We've had some moves. Firstly, Lee Hall is not doing very good. 103. He's made it over 100. He's gone to Brentford. He moved for £8.5 million, which feels like quite a lot of money for a player that is doing as bad as he is. Jordan Clark at Marseille. He's been playing for Marseille too. He's down at 118. Aidan Williams is at Arsenal. Made 1 appearance. Unfortunately, he's at 121. Nico Mabrena is at Chelsea. He actually went to Augsburg on loan. 10 in 24 in Bundesliga 2, where Augsburg finished 6th. We couldn't spearhead their promotion run, unfortunately. But not a bad performance. He's actually found himself up at 131. So the South Africans have shown great potential in these experiments, the unambitious and the ambitious counterpart experiments, but currently leading the way in this experiment and probably going to get the furthest out of everyone is Thomas Horek, but he's moved to Arsenal for £7.5 million now. He has moved in January, I think. No. When did he move? Let's have a look. And it doesn't say. Oh, sorry, there. 1st to the 9th, 2026. And he's actually won a Champions League. So Arsenal are current Champions League winners. He also won an FA Cup. So he's already starting to win trophies. He's 5 in 7 for Czechia as well, I've just noticed. So he's 3 in 6 for Slavia Prague. He moved to Arsenal on deadline day, I think. 7 appearances off the bench in the Premier League, no goals. Cup competitions, 1 start, 3 off the bench, and a goal. And that was enough to get him an FA Cup winners' medal. And then 3 substitute appearances in the Champions League, gets a Champions League winners' medal, no goals there. So out of 14 games, 1 of them being a start, 1 goal. Not very good. He probably needs a loan move, to be honest, just to really kick on. The thing, once he gets into the 150s, that's enough to make him a bit of a feature in Mikel's squad. He's just probably on the periphery a bit too much. There you go, Eddie Nketiah at 155. He's wanted by Newcastle. Let Eddie go. Thomas is going to kick on and be the man. So you've got players. And you've also got Aidan Williams in the reserves, haven't you, Arsenal? So you've got 2 of them. Anyway, 2028, here we come. Okay, so Lee Hall is up at 115, so he's actually improved about 12 attribute points in that first season for Brentford, and that's because he went on loan to Rotherham in Sky Bet League 1, where we got 8 in 29. 5 of those were off the bench. He finished mid-table, finishing 12th, a very respectable showing for Rotherham, and yeah, nice little bit of a boost for Lee Hall's abilities at 115. He is far and away behind the rest of the players, though. Jordan Clark at 128 for Marseille. He's actually been on loan to Blackpool. Now, we missed that fact that he went on loan to Ipswich here, playing 4 times, but he also went on loan to Blackpool in the Sky Bet Championship, getting 10 in 34 for them. Of course, they won't have got promoted, but where did they finish? Oh, they got relegated. Okay, so he's got relegated with them. Not very good. Aidan Williams. Oh, and he's been on loan to Plymouth Argyle. Did you look at that? 18th they finished. He survived. He helped them survive with his 13 in 13. That's 1 in 3. Nico Mabena. Oh, another loan move. Plenty of loan moves going on over here. 37 games for Watford in the Championship. 13 goals. Slightly better than what's his face. Slightly better than Aidan Williams, and Watford finished 6th as well, as opposed to Plymouth finishing 18th. So 3 of them in the Championship, all at differing levels. They're actually doing better. Each player's doing better. Mabena's at 148. Now Thomas Horak is at 153. How's he doing? He's actually been on loan at Leeds, getting 16 in 41. Well, would you look at that? And Leeds actually got promoted. So 4 players had found themselves in the Championship. We've got a relegation with Blackpool, safe with Plymouth, and missing out on promotion with Watford, and then automatically promoted with Leeds. So 4 of the 5 players spent the season in the Championship on a loan move. 153 for Thomas Horak. And we're going to compare him to Lee Hall. And aerially, Lee Hall's keeping pace. It's everything else he's not keeping up with. But there is still time. They're only 20 years old. A couple of good loan moves for Lee, and it's all back wide open. But I remember we got stuck at around 140 with a couple of players. Well, we've completely bypassed that with 2 of them at 20 years old. On to 2029 we go then. Well. Jordan Clark is down at the bottom at 128. And why is that then, Jordan? It's because he's actually been at Marseille a lot of appearances off the bench. He's 2 goals in 15. Disappointing. However, Lee Hall has played for Brentford. He's actually been on loan at Cardiff. 16 games for Cardiff was enough to accelerate him past Jordan Clark and get to 129 in terms of his current ability. Aidan Williams is up at 142 on loan from Arsenal at Dusseldorf. 6 in 25 for him. All of them starts. That's a disappointing return, if you ask me. You'd expect more goals. Dusseldorf, Bundesliga 2. But they still won the league by 9 points. What system did he play? He played 2 up top. Fine. I was going to say, you can't play 1 up top and have your striker scoring 6 and assisting 2 in a 6.99. That's dismal. But they got promoted, so fair play to Aidan Williams. And yeah, so Thomas is been overtaken. He's at 155. He's now in 2nd place, and that's because he's not playing for Arsenal. He's playing for the under-21s. He's got 32 and 44 starts, for 3 I have to mention, 32 and 47. A 7.26 overall, and he deserves a run in the first team. At 155, Arsenal, who have you got up front? You've got Gabriel Jesus, who's still there, but they've got Benjamin Sesko. They bought Benjamin Sesko for £97 million. Well, he's just a bigger and better beast, isn't he? He's at 180. Martin Odegaard's unhappy, going to challenge for the Champions League. Sad. United won a league title there. Unusual. Anyway, without further ado, let's talk about the player that has knocked Thomas Horak off the top spot, and that is Nico Mabena, who is playing for Chelsea and is playing for Chelsea, ladies and gentlemen. After his successful loan spell at Watford, he's actually come back and got 5 in 21, 6 of those off the bench. 15 of those were starts. Erik ten Hag is in charge of Chelsea, and who have they got up front? Well, they've got Darwin Núñez, who's at 159, Evan Ferguson at 167, and Nico Mabena at 156, who has got more potential than the pair of them. So is he going to be the player that's going to kick on? Nkunku's back here as well. You've got quite a few good players on. Arda Güler, transfer listed by request for 102 million, signed for 50. I think they need to play him to get him a bit better, and I think he's really going to help kick them on. So Erik ten Hag is in charge at Chelsea. It's all been going on. I mean, Poch was sacked very quickly. He's actually retired completely. He went to Southampton for a little bit. Speaking of Southampton, you know what time it is, don't you? Time for Ralph Watch. Slovenia, the manager of Slovenia, after he's had spells at Genoa and Salernitana. So Ralph, back on the international scene, as per usual. He loves an international job, just never England anymore, is it? But I hope that satisfies your appetite, gang, for your Ralph Watch. Honestly, the amount of new people that come and go, what's this Ralph Watch all about? It's a long-running joke that it's just got a mind of its own. And I get abused in the comments when I don't check in on Ralph. Everyone misses him, so got to pander to the viewers, haven't I? Man of the people. So, 156 to 128. 21 years old. Things are moving in the right direction. On to 2030 we go. Okay, Jordan Clark still at Marseille at 129, so he is stagnated. Abysmal. Lee Hall at Brentford, 141. John had a loan spell at Plymouth in the Championship, 11 in 38. So has he kicked on 141? I'd like to think he has, because he was very close to Jordan Clark, wasn't he? I think he'd just overtaken him. Aidan Williams at 142. So he's stayed there, hasn't he? He's not been on loan this last season. Just had a season in the reserves for Arsenal. Barely even played in the reserves. 7 in 7. His teammate, Thomas Horak, 155. He hasn't moved, really. One attribute point, 154, wasn't he? At 4 games, two goals. All 4 of those were off the bench. And one game in the cup that he started. So 5 games all season. He's stuck at 155. Nico Mabena, however, is at 162. And he's wanted by AC Milan. So he got 5 in 15 for Chelsea. He didn't play loads either. I feel like we've hit a point now where the players are ready to just... Another couple of seasons here where they played a lot, they might really kick on and become world beaters. But they found themselves at big-ish clubs on the periphery, outside looking in. I'd say the person who's got the most potential to reach it, to be top of this pile at the end, Lee Hall. He's at Brentford. If we look at Brentford, striker, Lee Hall is their best striker. Daniel Mitchell, who can play up front, I wouldn't recommend it with 2 jumping reach and 9 finishing, but he can. He's 1 attribute point better off. Everyone else who is... Oh, Brian Mbueno's 7 better off. Abel Ruiz. Okay, there's quite a few of them that are a bit above Lee Hall. But Lee Hall is above quite a few who are there. Like Jorgen Strand Larsen, for example. Lee Hall's better than the 30-year-old. Sorry. 2 goals in 28 games for Brentford. Didn't do great, did he? Right. We're in 2030. And I think it's only sensible we move to 2031. It's going to be a long one. We're limping through this, but yeah, I can't bring myself to do a bigger jump. Do 1 more year. Okay. So Jordan Clark is wanting to leave. Once the initial agreed playing time, he's just not getting it, is he? He's not getting it. 6 appearances off the bench, and he's at 130. Jordan Clark, I think we have time to write him off. Lee Hall at Brentford. This could have been his season. Unfortunately, 24 appearances off the bench has not helped him. Aidan Williams at Arsenal has been transfer listed for £51 million. He's actually been on loan to Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich have loaned him in, and he's been part of their squad, 3 in 21. He's won the Bundesliga champion, Bundesliga promotion. He's been at Arsenal for a few years, and he's won more at Bayern Munich. He's won more in Germany for a start. Thomas Horak is at 160. He has improved a few attribute points, and that's because he played 15 times. Again, only 4 of them starts. This is in the league, of course. 9 starts, 18 off the bench in all competitions. It's not quite good enough. Nico Mabena. Well, that's a bit more like it, isn't it? 25 goals in 36 appearances, and that, ladies and gentlemen, could be enough to win him the Golden Boot. He's improved to 177. Arsenal have won the Premier League. Chelsea finished 5th, getting Champions League football. And Nico Mabena did get the Golden Boot, 6 goals clear of Rasmus Højlund and Erling Haaland 7 behind him. Fair play to him. Well, 25 goals has absolutely nailed it. And it's South Africa who are representing in this ambitious 2-parter, shall we say. And we'll compare him to Jordan Clark, and it's just depressing, isn't it? Oh, look at how bad that is. Even at some of the thin points, you can still fit a mouse cursor in it. 300k a week he's getting. And do you know what? Deservedly so. Deservedly so, Nico. He's on 177. He's got every chance to actually make it to his potential. Now, ambition has not changed for any of these players. They have maintained themselves at 17. It's not fluctuated wildly, which we know it can do. But I feel like moving 1 season into the future is preferable, considering Aidan Williams and Jordan Clark are both on the transfer list. 1 by request, 1 by force. Right. So, Jordan Clark's moved to 132. He's now no longer on the transfer list, because he's played 14 times for Marseille this season. 2 of them starts, 12 off the bench. Aidan Williams is transferring to Al Duhail, the Qatar Stars League. He's going at the end of his contract. So Arsenal asking for £51 million. They've been a bit greedy there, and he's not managing to get any... He's not got any money for him. So it's a 6.25 million down the drain. Didn't play at all this most recent season. He's still at 146. Lee Hall, out of nowhere, has just flown up. He's now at 156 for Brentford. Is that because he's playing? Yeah, he's played 37 times. And look at that. You've just seen like one solid season playing every game, and he getting a 6.85. And he's now up at 156. He was in the 142. At 14 attribute points. So now he's all of a sudden becoming a bit of a superstar. He's now worth probably 50, 60 million pounds. If they were to sell him at 24 years old, you could easily get 50, 60 million pounds for him. AC Milan are on the are circling. AC Milan got any money? No, they've got no budget. The 30th of June. Who have they bought? They actually have bought players. Joel Hato and Matthias Astudillo. Fine. Thomas Horak still at Arsenal. 162. 19 games, 7 goals. 17 of them were off the bench. It's just, I don't know. It's just dismal, isn't it? It's disappointing. I feel like he had the opportunity to get there. And I feel like these last couple of seasons where he's not quite been given the opportunities at Arsenal that he probably deserved. I feel like it's going to really hamper his growth and mean that he's not going to make it all the way to the end. Arsenal have got £349 million in the transfer budget. Here we go. Eduardo Jimenez from Colo Colo for £5 million. This guy looks like a wonder kid. 22, 171. I expected more, to be honest. I did expect more. Colo Colo, always. Here we go. Here's another one. Union Espinola, 21, 157. Again, disappointing. They've let a few players go. Not really managed to sell that many. I mean, £141 million worth of sales, but to have £300 million in the budget. Of course, Pep's in charge because Mikel Arteta left nearly 3 years ago to go and become the manager of Inter Milan, and he's just been sacked. And now got Thiago Motta in charge. Rafa Benitez was there for a bit. Yeah, Mikel Arteta is now been sacked. He's wanted though by Newcastle. Bit of a mini manager merry-go-round there for you. Not a lot really to cover, I'm afraid. Is Erik ten Hag still at Chelsea? He's not. Unai Emery is. Erik ten Hag was sacked. He was only there for 291 days, to be fair. And Unai Emery has been there for just over 2 years. He's actually won the Europa League with Chelsea. Now, Nico Mabena, he's now on £325,000 a week, so he's had a pay rise. He's not improved a singular attribute point, yet he's 30 games, 21 goals. Why has he not improved at all? That's very weird, isn't it? Arsenal have won the league again. Chelsea have come second, 9 points behind. And Rasmus Højlund was the top goal scorer. It was the same three again. This time Højlund on 25. It was Mabena on 21 and Haaland also getting 21. Second and third respectively. Well, I'm confused why he's still at 177. And at 24, there's still time for them to get there, but I don't know. I'm not sure why he hasn't improved at all. Anyway, we go. Let's go to 2033. Sod it. I feel we're limping to the finish line. Here we go. 184, 166. Thomas Horak, unhappy about failing to challenge for the Champions League. 10 in 26. 22 of those were from the subs bench. Pep's still in charge. He did win the league again. Bueno, 26. Oh, has he won the Golden Boot again? Golden Shoe. Division top goal scorer. There you go. Ian Khan on 21 and Muharrem Huskovic on 18. Jordan Clark still at Marseille. Aidan Williams is at Alderhale. He's at 157, and quite a few teams want him. He's on 98k a week. Arsenal letting him go for free. How much is he going to cost? I mean, look who's wanting him. Liverpool, Tottenham and Borussia Dortmund. Lee Hall is still wanted by AC Milan. Chelsea also want him at 164 for Brentford. 11 in 34. Not too shabby for him. And again, Thomas Hart's not playing enough, so I'm not surprised he's a bit miffed. 275k a week. I wouldn't be surprised if he moved in the near future, but I think we've found the winner, Nico Mabena. We're going to jump 2 years to 2035 now. Well, there we go then. So, where do we start? Firstly, Aidan Williams made that move to Borussia Dortmund from Alderhale, £13.5 million. And he's played 2 seasons at Dortmund, actually, scoring 29 goals in 61 games. That's all of the other game. That's not too bad. Unfortunately, they were the champions of Germany. He's gone there, and they've now not won the league 2 years in a row. So, 166 though for Aidan Williams. He's not done bad. Thomas Horak still at Arsenal, and he's coming off the bench a lot. He's starting a few, and he's scoring more games than games he's starting. So, he's not doing too bad. Now, Luis Enrique's in charge. Pep left just under a year ago. Going to become the manager of Bayern Munich. Arsenal just walking away with the Premier League season upon season upon season. Lee Hall is at 172, same as Thomas Horak, and he has actually moved to Manchester City for £167 million. Brentford have cashed in on him, and Man City have paid nearly £170 million for a sub-merchant. 2 starts he's made for them in the leagues. In the league. I can't believe it. More money than sense, that team. Nico Mabena has got all the way up to 196. He's nearly hit 200. A dismal season there, only getting 14 goals. And he's hit back with 24. But Junior Krupi actually was the top goal scorer with 29 goals. Wow. Not bad, is he? Bukayo Saka for Arsenal got 24. Well, there you go then. I mean, is anyone else going to make it to 200? I don't think so. I think we're a bit too far in. But we've got 3 of them in the 170, early 170s, late 160s. This is the mid-range region. We've got Nico, who's absolutely flown away. A good 25, 30 attribute points clear. And unfortunately, 30, 35 behind is Jordan Clark, who's just wasted himself in Marseille. Let's go 3 more years. They'll be 30 years old, 2038. Of course, Nico did make it to 200 at Chelsea. Lee Hall still at Man City. Thomas at Arsenal. Aiden at Dortmund. These have all stayed around the same. I mean, what was it, 167 to 172? They've all improved a bit. Jordan Clark's at Sunderland now. He moved for £15 million from Marseille. And finally, getting some games. I mean, the first season he played more off the bench for Sunderland. Dear me. Aiden Williams is absolutely representing it for Borussia Dortmund. And he won the league twice in a row. He's absolutely got himself a little bit of a cult following. 2 times in a row he's become the top goal scorer with 21 and 25. Fortunately, this most recent season, where was he? 14. Oof. We have jumped forward 3 seasons. And Thomas Horak, of course, still at Arsenal. And Luis Enrique still in charge. That bodes well, to be fair. Although not very good for Thomas. He's actually playing quite a lot now. And he's still not scoring loads of goals. He's not scoring as many as he probably should be. Man City have snuck a league title. He's won 2. He's also won a Champions League. As of Dortmund, as of Chelsea back here, Man City. So all our players are winning Champions Leagues. Lee Hall has got a league and Champions League to his name. And he's actually playing. Oh, he's actually playing. Finally. The last couple of seasons, Man City have decided to play him after paying all that money for him. I mean, he's at 180. You should be playing him, really, shouldn't you? And of course, Nico at Chelsea. How's he been doing? I mean, he's just been tearing it up, hasn't he? What a player. What a player. Unfortunately, he's not won enough at Chelsea. All these accolades are just personal. There you go. FA Cup winners in 2035. That's 3 years ago. Champions League in 2034. Europa League, yeah. Dismal. Well, 30 years old. We're about to start declining. We're going to jump forward 3 more years to 2041. Oof, Nico's down at 188. 33 is really falling away. Thomas is at 170. Lee at 169. Aiden at Dortmund. He's wanted by Saudi Arabia. Also transfers by request for 45 million. He's not playing? He stopped playing? I don't know. He's done all right for Dortmund. He's won another league title for them. Jordan Clark at Sunderland at 126. He's listed because the club no longer require his services. 750k. Oh, his contract's expiring. I wouldn't be surprised if he retired. You know, I don't think anyone's going to want him. Lee Hall at Man City. He's coming off the bench a bit, but he's doing all right. Thomas Horak at 170 for Arsenal. Yeah, he's become their first choice striker, and he's got 20 goals once. High teens a few times. No manager at Arsenal. Luis Enrique's just retired. Won another Champions League, though, most recently, the current Champions League holders, and in terms of the Premier League, well, shared between Arsenal and City for the last 3. 2 for City, 1 for Arsenal. Lee Hall, having been at Brentford for quite a while, not really winning anything, actually won a fair bit of stuff. 3 Premier Leagues, an FA Cup, a Champions League. Go on, lad. Well, I think Jordan's about to retire. I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of these players did move in the next couple of years. We'll go 3 more years, 2044. I wouldn't be surprised if we've lost a couple at this point. There'll be 36. I wouldn't be surprised if we've lost a couple. But that's fine. Yeah, we have. There we go. Lost a couple. And we've got Lee Hall at Al Ahly. His contract's up next season, so he'll be retiring at the end of next season. Nico is retiring now, and Aiden's also retiring. So I think we're going to call it here. This is the point we're going to call it, ladies and gentlemen. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go and look at the Ballon d'Or. Nico won a Ballon d'Or here for Chelsea. Lee Hall was in second. That's the only Ballon d'Or we've had. Player of the Year. Lee Hall won one there. Nico. Oh, 2-1 to Nico ahead of Lee Hall. Footballer of the Year. Again, Thomas Horak got one. Nico, Lee. The 3-way tie, what a piece there. So yeah, I think, Mbena got the best. Was the best overall. World Team of the Year now, all seasons. Erling Haaland is in the squad. Nico Mbena is on the bench. And that is it. That is it. Who's this Theodoros Theos? Oh, he's an unemployed manager. He was at Manchester City for a long time. He was pretty good. So that's it for the experiment, ladies and gentlemen. Nico, of course, was the best player. So we're going to finish on his profile, looking at how good he is still. And we're going to look at his little record for Chelsea there. 297 goals in 453 games. He got there. Quite a few other players did get there in terms of their ambition. They were very close to get into the 160s, 170s, a couple in the 180s. Only one player really failed, and that was Jordan. He got, about 130, 132 that he probably got to in the end. And that's just the way it goes sometimes. If you don't nurture a player properly, they are always going to fail. And a good personality allows you to facilitate the growth of that player better than if they had a bad personality. But it's still by no means a certainty that they're actually going to fulfill their potential. As you saw here, one didn't. Three of them did very, very well. One became a world-class superstar, one of the best players on the game. And that's with a decent personality. Ambitious is pretty good as a personality. Ambition is a very important attribute if you want a wonder kid to achieve their potential. As we saw in the unambitious video, because we didn't get anyone to 200, the player that did the best was again the South African. Was it Sifilele? I can't remember what he got to, but maybe it was about 180. And that was a win. I'd class that as a win, really, for an unambitious player. But that was because all these other attributes improved around it, like professionalism, etc. I suppose Mbana's professionalism has gone up to 17 as well, so that's probably helped him along the way. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. Leave me a comment down below of any other experiments you'd like to see on the channel. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that jazz. Take good care of yourselves. I'll see you soon.